Hi and welcome to Spice and Pans. Today I'm going to cook a very easy pork chops in creamy mushroom sauce that you can cook for Christmas. And let's start cooking. Now we're prepared to marinate our pork chop. I have with me over here 4 pieces of pork chop, approximately between 170 to 180 grams each, a total of 700 grams. We'll need to make cuts along this part over here to prevent the pork chop from curling up when we pan fry them. This to ensure a very even browning of the pork chop. Let me show you how I do this. Very simple. About a breadth of your finger, just make a slight cut. Make sure you cut it through like this and continue with the rest. Very simple. Using a fork, just poke it through. This will ensure that the marinade will get into the pork easier and of course break any fiber that's inside here, thus making this pork chop very tender. Turn it to the other side and repeat the same. Once you're done with this, then we can continue with the marinade. You'll just need to do some very basic marinating. 1.5 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoon of black pepper. Just mix them up well together like this. We do not need to add too much ingredients to the marinade because later we'll have some very delicious sauce to go along with the pork chop. Now all we have to do is just sprinkle some of this on top of the pork chop. Rub the marinade in. Very easy. We'll repeat the same for the other side. Same thing. Rub it all in. Once you're done with this, we'll leave this in the open. Of course, you can cover it up so that no flies can get to the pork chop. And we'll just marinate this for about 20 minutes. I'll see you back in a while. Now we're prepared to pan fry our pork chop first. I'm using a La Gourmet 30 cm nitridine wok for this. Heat it up using medium heat. Add in a suitable amount of oil. Can be a little bit more, it's okay. This wok is a cast iron wok, so you can cook anything with hard bones inside here or even using your metal spatula for this. Make sure that your wok is hot before we put in our pork chop. Now we add in our pork chops. Put them in, don't move them around first. We want to sear them really good. Color means flavor. We'll fry this per side for approximately 3 to 5 minutes before we turn them over. We want a good sear. Of course, you can move the wok a little bit just to give it a more even kind of sear. I'm using medium heat throughout for this. Let's give this a check. Right, we want a very nice sear like this. Turn it to the other side and repeat the same. This is a very good dish for Christmas. You can make some poached vegetables as well as mashed potatoes because the gravy will go very well with this. Let's check it up again. Now this is the kind of sear that we want. A little bit more on the other side, especially over here. Right. Ooh, beautiful. This is what we want. Continue to brown them a little bit more. We want the brownness to be even. Press it down if you need to so that your pork will have contact with the wok. The pork chops are almost done. Once we have browned them, we'll just remove them from the wok first and leave them aside while we prepare the sauce. Now we're going to make the sauce. Continue with medium heat. Add a little bit more oil. Add in 2 medium onions, cut thinly like this, or you can use one big one. Put it in. Add in 200 grams of sliced button mushroom. Put it in. Now we just fry this first. There's a lot of burnt bits below. These are all flavor. Right? Just scrape them up. We'll add in 20 grams of butter, unsalted butter. Add in 4 cloves of garlic chopped and fry them until fragrant. This dish is going to be so good. If you do not have red onions, you can always use yellow onions, no problem at all. I'm using red onions because I personally like the taste of red onion as they are more fragrant. Although yellow onions is sweeter. Now we'll add in 1 tablespoon of plain flour. Mix them up well. The purpose of the plain flour is to thicken it up, and we are browning it so that the sauce can be brown in color too. Alright. Now we'll add in water. Add in 200 milliliters of water. If you have chicken stock, you can use chicken stock. I do not, so I'm using 1 teaspoon of chicken stock powder. Add it in, mix them up. The color of the sauce is coming up very nicely now. Still maintaining the heat at medium, we'll add in half a teaspoon of salt, 1 big tablespoon of mixed Italian herbs. Now if you do not have mixed Italian herbs, you can use rosemary, thyme, no problem. Stir them all in. Add in 200 milliliters of cooking cream. This will give the sauce a very nice rich body. Mix them up well. Now we'll add in our pork chop again, put it back in, as well as the juice from the pork chop. Just pour them all in. This is going to be so good. Now we just turn the heat down to medium-low or low and let this simmer for approximately 8 to 10 minutes. Stirring occasionally just to make sure it doesn't burn. I'll show you how they look like in a while. 8 minutes is up. Let's just have a taste. This is almost done. Just to make sure that it's savory enough for us. Really, really, really good. Taste is fantastic. It's time to serve our pork chop now. And now the dish is done. Let's have a taste. I love the smell of this mixed Italian herbs and of course the onions. This is going to be so good. Let's give this a taste. Oh. Let me tell you something. The sauce, really, really fantastic. The pork chop is very juicy. Give me a sourdough and this is a complete meal. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like our video. Do click like on our video and do subscribe to our channel. And now it's your turn to cook. Thank you and see you again. Bye bye. Very, very nice. You want some?